Well, I'm so glad that each one of you guys has been choosing to tune in to Youth Online and to connect with us during this time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just waiting until I can finally get out and get a haircut. Like me and Burton are just shaggy as can be and are needing a haircut bad. But life's going to get back to normal. But while we're still doing this Youth Online, I wanted to kind of start and move into a little bit of a teaching series to keep us connected during this time. And so I'm anxious to kind of kick off this new series we're doing called What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do. And even during this series, we're still going to have some students teaching and we're still going to have small group leaders teaching. But I was super excited to be able to kick off the series and look at the life of Joseph. And Joseph is an awesome character in the Bible. He's the dude with that rainbow coat that we've heard about. So he's styling, right? He eventually is a guy that gets sold by his own brothers. He's falsely thrown into jail. He's the guy who starts interpreting a whole bunch of dreams. And then ultimately, he becomes the most powerful person in all of Egypt, except for the Pharaoh himself. And so many times in Joseph's life, he has these moments where he does not know what he's supposed to do. And so I wanted to look at one of those first examples of his life and kick off our series by talking about the concept of how we can affect our families and how our actions affect our families. And so I don't know about you, but sometimes we can live almost two different lives. The lives we have outside and in public and at school and we're on our best behavior, and then the life when we are at home with our families. Right? When I'm at home, I'm wearing shirts that have holes in them, because they're still comfortable. I'm wearing sweatpants. I maybe don't shower till like the afternoon if I'm just chilling around, right? But when I go out in public, I'm like making sure that my clothes at least semi match, right? I got a good shirt on. I'm wearing jeans. Okay, even like right now we're doing youth online, so I got like a good shirt on, but then I'm still like cuddling with a blanket, on my legs. We get a little bit of both, right? But we can almost have two completely different lives: the lives we live outside of our house when we're on our best behavior, and the lives we live inside our house. And if we're not careful, we can almost even become two completely different people inside and outside of our house. And if we're honest, the person that we are inside of our house when we're at our most comfortable, so to speak, is sometimes the worst version of us that our family gets. And so I wanted to just look at the life of Joseph and start with a story that has some good family drama in it. All right. In fact, the story of Joseph begins and just throws you into family drama off the very beginning. All right. In Genesis 37 is where we read about Joseph. And we started, and all of a sudden we hear there's this dad, and he's got this son who's his favorite. And then not only does he like tell the son he's his favorite, he gives them this coat, this rainbow coat to wear that literally shows everyone else, hey, this is my favorite son. All right. Now, can you imagine these poor other brothers? He's got 11 brothers, and this father is literally saying, hey, all 11 of you guys, like, I know you maybe thought that this was my favorite, but I'm going to just straight up show you this is my favorite son. Don't mess with him. All right. Some of you are like, maybe when you're having a bad day, you're like, I think my parents probably do have a favorite child and it's not me. All right. But this dad literally goes out and like says it and gives him a gift to show it. All right. So we already got family drama going on. And then it only gets worse because then Joseph has these dreams. All right. And these dreams are basically giving him a vision that eventually the family's going to rely on Joseph and they're actually going to praise Joseph because he's going to save the entire family. And so he has this dream and he gets in this moment of not knowing what he should do. Do I just keep this to myself and kind of try and figure out what it means and just take this as maybe this is a promise from God and I'm just going to hold on to this? Or do I go tell my whole entire family this dream because it's pretty awesome and they kind of need to know that they're going to worship me someday? All right. What would you do in this situation? Well, Joseph, being a typical brother, is like, I'm going to go tell everybody. All right. And so in Genesis 37, verses 6 and 7, we have his dream. And he says this. He said to them, listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out of the field when suddenly my sheaf rose up and stood upright. All right, now, so picture this. It's like Thanksgiving when you see those big stalks of like wheat all tied together. So he's like, my stalk started standing up, and everyone else's, all your guys, has started bowing down to mine. All right. And so his brother said to him, do you really intend to reign over us? Do you actually think you're going to rule us? And then they hated him all the more because of this dream and what he had said. All right. And then it gets even better. The story just keeps going because then in verse 9, it says he has another dream. All right. And so he goes to his brothers and he says, hey, listen, I had another dream. And this time the sun and the moon and 11 stars are bowing down to me. All right. And so the 11 stars representing his 11 brothers, but then the sun and the moon are in this dream, meaning his mom and dad. And so he's literally saying, hey, entire family, I'm just going to give you a heads up. Like, you're going to worship me one day because I'm going to save you. All right. You're going to rely on me. And I just need all of you guys to know that right now. All right, could you imagine doing this? Could you imagine having this type of dream? And then at the next family breakfast, you're like, hey, just wanted to let you guys know, like, sometime down the future, you guys are all going to be bowing down to me because you need me so much. All right. As you can imagine, this does not go well. And as we continue to look at the life of Joseph and we continue to look in the stories in the weeks to come, we're going to see this about this family is that this family, everyone is just thinking about themselves. All right. They don't really care how their actions affect their family around them. All right. Joseph knew telling this information was not going to go well, right? He already had a bad relationship with his brothers because of this coat thing. And so instead of saying, like, I'm just going to keep this to myself and I'm going to try and like make my relationship better with my brothers first before I talk about this. He's like, nah, I know they're not going to react well, but I kind of really don't care. I kind of want them to know that they should, respect me because this is coming one day. Right. And so he didn't care at all about how his actions were going to affect his family. And so I think the point of this story is one to remind us that Joseph's family drama isn't all that different than our own. Right? Now, his was maybe a little unique, but all of us have family drama, right? And you've been at home a long time with your family. And some of you guys, maybe it's going okay, and others of you, it is not going good, right? You and your siblings are at each other's throats. Maybe your relationship with your parents has been strained a little bit. Maybe you have split homes, and it's just become even crazier in this time. And if you're honest, the relationship with your family is not super great right now. And so I think what I would want to encourage you with is to really take time to think about how are your actions affecting your family right now, in a good way or a bad way. See, I think a lot of times when we're at home, and I'm guilty of this too, when I'm at home is when I'm at my most selfish, right? Because when I'm at home, that's when I want to relax. That's when I feel like people should be able to get stuff for me. That's when I feel like I need my own space. And everything I do is really focused around me when I'm at home. And that does not create a good environment for a family who's working together, right? And so, whether you think you're the favorite one in the family, or you feel like you're the least favorite in the family, or you're the angry one in your family, or you're the firstborn, or you're the lastborn, or you have A plus in slamming doors in your house, right? Whatever it is, we all have a role to play in our families, and how we act affects all of our family. And so I want to encourage you this week is to pay attention to the words and your actions and how they're contributing to the temperature of your home right now. Or what I mean by that is how your behavior is contributing to how well or how not well things are going in your house. And that can be hard to do. And so maybe you're like, what do I even do to think about my relationship with my family and my actions? Philippians 2 has some good practical tips of what we can do to help make sure that we're having a positive impact on our family during this time. All right, chapter 2, Philippians 2, verse 3 says this: do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. All right, so don't do anything selfishly or just to make you feel comfortable at the expense of others. All right, it says, instead, in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interest, but to the interest of others. All right, and so how in our families can we not focus on what we want all the time, especially when we're with our family 24/7 right now and everybody wants what they want? How can we learn to focus on others to help make a good, positive family dynamic right now? All right, so here's what I want to close with. When we're in this time of we don't know what to do, right? You're at home, school is not really school anymore, you're bored, you're like, I just don't know what to do right now in this time. Well, when you don't know what to do, Focus on making your relationships and your family the best they possibly can be. All right. That's what you can focus on. That's what you can have a purpose. You can have a reason to focus on what you're doing and what you're saying. Right. If you're like, I don't know what to do right now, give yourself the goal of, I'm going to try and make my relationship with my family a little bit better than what it is right now. Right. And so let's focus on making the best family relationships we can. Maybe it's letting your sibling use your gaming system for a little bit. Or maybe it's just getting to know your parents better. Maybe you can play like Ask Me Anything with your parents. And you're like, that is scary, all right? But you are going to get to know each other a lot better, that's for sure. Or maybe just ask them to teach you some things that they're interested in, and you can try and find out some new things about your parents you didn't know. Or maybe just offer to do a chore without being asked, or even just set the table for a family dinner without anyone telling you to do it, and just serve your family. All right, it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be this life-changing thing, but how can you focus on positively affecting your family? All right, it doesn't mean that if overnight you're going to have the greatest family of all time, right? Like real drama remains, real issues in the family will remain, and some of them take a long time to heal. All right, but how can we, at least in this time of being stuck with our families 24/7, how can we look at what we're doing and have a positive impact on our families? And so that's my challenge and my encouragement to you guys this week of our series, What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do. When you don't know what to do, spend time looking at how you can make a positive impact on your family.